All right, buckle up for a little story time because I'm going to tell you about the time that I worked at my old high school as a track and field coach. So, I am a professional track and field athlete, technically. I'm not sponsored, but I have gotten paid from running in a meet, so that technically makes me a professional. But, anyways, back in 2023, I ended up volunteering at my old high school to be a coach and help out and all that stuff. And I did that. It was cool. Then I got into private coaching and I did that for the summer. And then when the winter season came up for 2023, I ended up working at my old high school. And it was very fun. It was very rewarding. It was something I never thought I would do in my entire life. And I felt so happy to be able to be a part of younger men's lives. The school that I went to, it's an all boys school, and the motto is like uplifting young men and all that stuff. So it was nice to be able to help uplift some young men. And things were great during the indoor season. There wasn't too much of a bump in the road. I had the head coach complain to me about one thing, and I just walked out of the conversation because it was pissing me off. But it was something over holding one of the athletes or whatever, even though traditionally, if everyone's doing their own thing, they kind of just gather together when they're done. But apparently, it's just not good enough when I'm helping out. So that was the one little hiccup during the indoor season. Then outdoor comes around. So I'm not on payroll anymore because there was a whole separate issue with that. They weren't going to sign me on for outdoor, but they still said I could volunteer, so I did that. And it just seemed as though ever so slightly as the days went by, they were trying to get me to do less and less and focus on just less and less as times went on. I was a long jump and triple jump coach, and I also helped with the sprinters. And I ended up eventually they just asked me to do long jump. And one of the kids that I train with, he's a triple jumper. And one of the coaches that trained me when I was there, who's still there, he, at least it seemed as though he might have been threatened by my ability to actually coach and give some actual words of wisdom that would help improve other people. So, as opposed to working with me and coming to some sort of agreement on how to help the athletes, it just kind of seemed like a thing where the head honcho, the head coach, slowly but surely just decided to just want to get rid of me. First, it started with, we just want you to coach long jump. Then it turned into first it was you can volunteer, so I did that. That was fine. Then they said, we just want you to coach long jump. We have a better triple jump coach than you, which was not true. But anyways, this is the same coach that was complaining and talking about he wanted to retire after I don't know how many years. He's been saying he's wanted to retire for a while now, but he's still there. He still shows up there. Um, I actually stood out at practice one time, and they threatened to call security on me. So that was cool, and I didn't leave because no security was called, and they didn't trespass me, but they just didn't want me to really do anything during the practice. And it was so bad, like I was trying to help out. It was the day before meet, and we have this thing called pre-meet. If you're a track guy, you know what pre-meet is. You do all the stuff that you do before meet. So if I'm working since I'm working with the jumpers, they do their stuff, their approaches on the runway, but they said we're not doing anything on the runway today, clearly trying to get me to not help out. So it just, if anything, it negatively affected the kids because it's like, if you're going to punish me, why punish them? Don't stop them from being able to do the stuff that they need to do before a meet and just to prepare in general. So that was cool. And then it turned into basically me leaving. And then I was still trying to help out, show up to meets and talk to the kids. They were telling me I couldn't talk to them, or they said that they could talk to me. They just had to come up to me. And then it turned to, if you talk to them, we'll ban you from campus. So that happened. They threatened to ban me from campus, so I just had to stop entirely trying to help out in any way, shape, or form. So I ended up leaving, never went back. I still actually show up to the school because I still train there. on occasion, but it's a completely different environment now. Like, if you see anybody, if anybody that was like a coach, that's a coaching person that's part of the coaching staff, that was a mouthful. That was hard to get out. They would look at me like they're threatened by me. Like, I showed up to a meet one time just to be supportive, and literally the head coach was like talking to the athletic director, and he was freaking out. They're like, "Oh, he's here, da 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 da." Like, and the AD was trying to calm him down, like, it's gonna be fine, like, as if I'm some massive threat or something like that. Like, I'm just trying to help out. Not to mention the other coach, he's just doing the same shit. He's literally doing the same stuff that he was doing when I was there, and it literally doesn't help the kids out. Like, the morale was so high when I was there. We won all the championship stuff for the indoor season. I wasn't there for all the outdoor season, so they didn't win the state championship outdoor. And I'm not saying it's all because of me, but I think I had a decent amount of credit in helping these guys just form a better team. But it wasn't even about that. It's just about being there and being able to bestow the wisdom that I had to these younger people and actually maximize their potential. Like, working at my old school as a coach really taught me that there are a lot of people that really don't want to change, and they just don't really actually want to be successful. Because in my head, if you actually want to be successful, you want to get these athletes faster, you want them to jump farther, you want them to jump higher, you want them to throw farther, you want them to do all these things, perform better. Would you not want to do what's in the best interest for those individuals? But unfortunately, since it's a hierarchy and sort of like a pseudo tenure type of deal, I have no say so as somebody who's freshly hired. Like, there's not much I can do. But I mean, goes to show people's true colors. Like, I'm an alum from the school, and you threaten to ban me from campus, and you basically bully me by like trying to like take away my ability to coach and do certain things with the athletes, on top of a staff member talking about me potentially not getting paid for some reason, as if it's appropriate to talk about your other colleagues' pay schedule or salary or any of those things. But it was just a weird experience. Like, looking back on it, it kind of seemed like there's like some spiritual warfare going on, or like, and or some just jealousy. Like, I'm not one to try to butt heads here, but like, if there's a system that's working and there's a system that's not working, obviously you're going to want to pick the system that's working. I'm sorry that you want to stick to your regular schmegular thing that's not working and helping the kids, and then I show up and then everyone's doing better and they're happier, we're getting along, people are listening and all that stuff. Like, actually trying to produce a positive environment, but you're just negating that. Like, you don't actually want to see positive change. But I don't know, it's just a little story that I had. It's crazy to think about, like, just how an old school could really treat you like that. Like, you come back as an alum to help out younger generations from the same school as you because you want to, and it would be nice, and it's just something you're familiar with, and it would be a good way to give back to the community. But I guess that's not for everybody, I suppose, right? So I don't know, that's my story.